And welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of We Bombastic Few. Welcome, as always, ladies and gentlemen. We have missed you this past week, and we're excited to be back for our Season 2 as we stated last episode. Brent, Daniel, you guys want to say something? Say hi.
Hello?
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Perfect-
okay.
Perfect timing. That worked out
It's okay. I'll go.
Alright, fine.
It's me, Daniel. This is also episode 15.
Sort
Just
of.
Interesting.
sort of. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Well, okay. Well, I'm going to need you guys to refer to me as Technician Brent because I, last night, just got my ham radio technician license, so...
Oh, that reminds me, because I wanted to talk about this. You guys can refer to me as Master of the Forge. Because in lab the other day, I made a knife. It's pretty awesome. It's not a good knife, but I made it.
I don't think that qualifies you for the title of Master of the Forge.
I used the forge. I was sitting over an anvil with tongs and a hammer.
But just because you
picked
up
use
a sword
something
doesn't mean that I'm a master of a sword.
I am the master. I command the forge. Therefore, I am master of the forge.
I thought you were going to say
Moreover,
you had like
ladies
the
and
Master
gentlemen,
of the Force, and I was like, I don't think we can say that.
Moreover, no one's following us on social media, guys.
Still.
We have very few. We are hurting. We're not getting out there. We need your finger pressing capabilities to spread the word about our somewhat potential comedy that we have here. Beyond that, we got some feedback on world building that we tried out last episode. I was kind of skeptical about it, but so far we heard that it was pretty good. And what do you guys think about it so far?
I like it.
I thought it was interesting. I think it could still be interesting.
It has lots of potential, I think. Now.
Please don't stop listening.
Yeah, please don't.
Please. I have a family.
Today's segments are a superhero debate, always a fun one. Next, we have not just one, but multiple hypotheticals, because Brent...
What is a podcast without a hypothetical? I totally wasn't prepared, but luckily we have it written down, so okay.
And thankfully, you're paying attention.
Yep.
And then we have just some random stuff going on, including another segment of world building. But first, as always, we have the bombastic word of the episode. Pronk, to jump straight into the air normally when threatened. I'm picturing
like normally when threatened, not jump straight up in the air normally as opposed to unnaturally.
Oh man,
It makes me think of like that animation of like a cat that gets scared,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
jumps up
Or a
and shakes.
gazelle was the website example.
I was backpacking once, and this is when I used to be in Boy Scouts, and I was a few people back from the front of the line, and we're just walking. We're just taking a day trip up to see this view off this little cliff, and I just see the person in the front of the line. It was like the highest vertical I ever seen from anyone. He's just so far in the air, and there was a rattlesnake in the middle of the path.
No, gosh.
So he pronked.
Oh, wow. Okay. Don't know if that counts.
Trivia
but
for you: me and Daniel met in Boy Scouts. Fun fact: 3rd grade.
Oh, shoot, you're right.
What class of? Or it was Cub Scouts.
Bear?
Yep, it was Bear.
Yeah, Bear Scouts. That's right.
I joined because they said they had snacks.
There were snacks. It was pretty awesome.
And then once you got to Boy Scouts, they stopped doing snacks, and that was a tough thing to learn.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know
started
why
bringing
anyone's an
snacks on
Eagle
my
Scout.
Well, as that rabbit trail continues, segment number 1 of the episode. As promised.
All right.
Labeled
Superhero
segment
debate.
A.
Daniel.
We were sitting here. We're in a bit of a rush, trying to get everything together. We have a limited time frame, and we were like, "Hey, you know what? I think I remember people liking the superhero debate, so that's what we're doing." So here are our 3 combinations of superpowers. If you haven't listened before, what we do is we take 6 powers. We match them up in twos, and we argue over which superhero is best or most practical, either in everyday life or in fights against each other. So here goes. The first hero has body part substitution, which is the ability to replace one's limbs or other body parts with those of another. And omnilinguism, which is the ability to understand any form of language, a natural polyglot. This can be accomplished in various ways, which I'm sure we'll talk about. Hero 2 has the ability of wall crawling, which is just what it sounds like, ability to adhere to solid surfaces, including walls and ceilings, and teleportation, which is the ability to move from one place to another without occupying the space in between. The third hero has the abilities of poison generation, which allows you to assault others with one or more varieties of toxins with widely disparate effects, and night vision, which is the ability to see clearly in total darkness.
All right, so we'll just go down the list of ones that you probably or we need to expand upon. Number 1 is definitely body part substitution. So the ability to replace one's limbs or other body parts with those of another. So does that mean like it's like, oh man, I'm in a tough bind. Let me replace my left arm with Arnold Schwarzenegger's left arm. And
or
then,
even beyond that, like what if you're in a terrible situation and you decide to replace your legs with those of a kangaroo and you jump away?
so does it not have to be another human?
That's what I'm asking.
It says body parts with those of another. So I'd say it could be any animal as long as you can make the ligaments connect properly.
I can't get like the legs of like a grasshopper or something.
Yeah, that might not work so well. I don't know if we could say that it's going to resize parts.
How about we?
Well, no, it doesn't resize. It's like the size of a grasshopper leg.
I think it shouldn't resize. So practically, I think human limbs is what works best.
What if we stay with mammals? That can make it a little interesting.
All right, so I could get a gorilla.
Correct.
I don't know what animals are mammals or not. I'm just
Not birds and reptiles.
It's either all animals or no animals, or I'm not going to know the difference.
Oh my god, were you not paying attention like first through 10th grade or something?
I remember I knew at some point, but
Well, it says another, and I feel like another implies a person. So let's just leave it at people.
Stick with
So, moving on, we got omnilinguism. My question was any form of a language. My question was animals. Could we consider them to have a language? And so, but I definitely have seen on this website before speaking with animals as a power. So probably not.
It doesn't say you can speak any language. It says you can understand it.
Yeah.
That's very true.
So can they talk to? They could get the. This would be interesting if this person could get the body parts of an animal and then like
switch the mouth and vocal cords.
Will understand the animal.
There's this episode of Rick and Morty where I forget how, but through some means, the main character Morty is able to understand what animals are saying. And
it's the
squirrels.
Squirrels, yeah.
And they're just plotting to take over the world. And they look at him and it's like, "Hey, can that kid understand us?"
So are we giving him the? Can he understand animals?
Yeah, he can understand animals if they can speak to another. Because I don't know that necessarily all animals can speak to each other.
Well,
they can communicate, but they might not be able to speak.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you, but it'd take a while to go through every animal. So do we want to just give him blanket? He can understand animals. Can't speak to them, but he can understand
if they're speaking. Yeah.
I like the second clause of that statement is this can be accomplished in various ways. I don't know.
What does that mean?
I don't want to know.
Like if they text you, you can understand that too, versus like hearing it. I don't know.
Well, that's true. It's understand. So it doesn't have to be speaking. So like reading. body language.
Like ASL, they have animal sign language. Is that a thing?
Yeah. That means if you're writing code and you can't figure out why it won't debug, he can understand exactly what's happening in your code. He can be like,
Yeah, that's definitely true because it's programming language.
well, wait, so that's interesting. So he'll know exactly what each line of code is doing, but he won't be able to tell you how to fix your problem.
Nope. But he can help debug. So this guy instantly has a prime computer science opportunity.
Okay.
Wall crawling.
Number two
is
guy just is like a master of transportation in general.
Yeah. I feel like teleportation and wall crawling could be redundant in a lot of situations, but
Not necessarily, because you could teleport yourself to the ceiling in stealth situations.
what's the X-Men Nightcrawler? He can like scale walls and stuff. So it's virtually Nightcrawler.
Who named himself Nightcrawler as a hero name?
I mean, if you
he
see,
was-
he's literally like a little blue demon.
He was
So
actually
He's like a worm.
well, he was named as like he was supposed to be like a circus or something like that. Like he was in a circus and they named him that. Like he was like a pet more than anything.
Gotcha.
Initially.
Okay, he didn't
Yeah.
give himself that name. Okay.
Yeah, as far as I believe.
Well,
that's a little better.
I have no idea. Marvel is not my strong suit. Anyway, so third guy, poison generation and night vision's understandable. Don't have questions there, but poison generation, ability to assault others with one or more varieties of toxins with various effects. Like, what
So
exactly?
Does that include like toxic clouds?
I was just imagining like the Pokemon. What's the
Coughing?
Yeah, that one. Just that. I'm just imagining that, and he's got like.
I just like this. He goes, "Copy."
What effects could a poison have beside like maybe like paralysis or itchy nose? I don't.
And I feel like it's a. I feel like a clause of that almost has to be that you're immune to any poisons as well.
Yeah. I definitely say so. It's almost just an ex machina ability, because like I'm imagining any physical ailment you could pretty much accomplish with one poison or another.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
And
but
you could put out poisons that are going to corrode through things as well.
yeah. How does he disperse these toxins? Like does he like shoot a gas out of his eyelids or something? I don't know.
If it's more of a like a liquid toxin, or like that it would just secrete from his skin like sweat.
Okay. What about for a gas?
But if it's a gas, then it would come out from. Well, I guess the body's covered in pores. It could come out from anywhere on their body.
All right, but
Theoretically.
but he can't like. It's not necessarily like a projectile per se, where he could like.
I would
direct
think
it.
you
It
could-
just emanates from him.
Yeah, you could send it out as fast as you could send out breath. You know.
Yeah. All right. Sure. Okay. So.
So this guy carries around like a little, those little fans that they pass out at like 4th of July. That shoot out the
They
water?
connect to your phone or something.
No.
Yeah.
You know those like those old toys that like you pull back a string that looks like kind of like a slingshot, but like projects like this little like puff of air. Like.
Oh yeah. Those. It's like
has
a
one of
air
those.
cannon, like a giant air cannon.
he just blows. He's blowing.
All
it
you
out
hear is
loud.
this. All you hear is. And it's just like this cloud of poison.
And night vision, that's pretty nice. So one thing I thought for the first guy, body part substitution, dude. Theoretically, if he got in a super big bind, he could replace his head with someone else and then just escape and get a different body. Oh, well, it says it says other body parts too. He can never get sick really, because anything that's ailing him, he can just replace.
Well, okay.
So he basically has like
here's an
mock
interesting point to
regeneration.
that. So his ability resides within his head and not within the genetics of the body he holds.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and like we don't discuss how these people got these powers, but even if it was just like in their genetics, there's still like his DNA in his head. And so he could never get rid of his head entirely.
Yeah. I
So that I like that guy initially because he's basically got regeneration.
Yes, I agree, but I think Mr. Transportation definitely has huge potential. His evasiveness is high, so he can clearly get away from a little poison cloud. And then he can also, I don't feel like body part substitution has anything to hold against Mr. Transportation.
Well, but it could also be used as an offensive ability because let's say someone breaks his arm, he switches that broken arm with the person that just broke it, and so like
if someone's swinging a blade at him, all he has to do is switch bodies with the guy, and boom, now he's alive and he's swinging a sword at the other guy. That's kind of OP. I feel like we have to limit that somehow.
A cooldown maybe.
Yeah,
I think the head
or like a cooldown depending on how much he's transferring.
Yeah,
like head, it's got to be like, yeah, you can only do this once
a day.
Like your energy is almost completely depleted if you replace heads with someone.
Yeah, but he certainly would still need to be able to replace like arms and stuff at a fairly semi-regular basis for him to still be useful.
Yeah,
that's true. But he can definitely get himself out of a bind.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes, so he also has evasive potential. The first guy.
Not to mention he could. I mean, clearly, being in computer science, it's going to be hard for this person to find a mate, you know? But he can use body part substitution to give himself all desirable qualities that they would want.
Yeah, I mean, he just replaces his head with like... Oh, I guess he couldn't replace his head.
Well, what if his head was like the most unattractive face ever?
Right.
Theoretically, he could replace skin though, and eyes and ears, and because like it doesn't give any limitation on what he can replace. So he could keep everything except his brain, or keep only his brain, and just so he could literally just trade brains with someone and become like Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I guess, but
I'm really liking this guy the more I think about it. Initially, I was like, it would really be hard to have a sense of self if that yourself was always changing. Physical appearance
like
wise.
The Inception
physical
concept,
appearance wise.
Like, but your reality continues changing, so therefore it messes with you mentally.
There's a different movie I was thinking. It's specific. There's like Mystique or something where it's like they have a hard time identifying and then there's like I think there's a Batman villain that becomes other people.
Well, Mystique is different. She has a true form at all.
Well, yeah,
times.
but she's almost never in it.
Well, yeah, that's just because she's
all right. It's not about Mystique. We don't need to talk about Mystique.
Okay.
Poison generation guy, like he's definitely useful, especially with if he has an air cannon he's carrying around. But and then night vision, he definitely would have a advantage when it came to nighttime. But technically, depending on if his powers reside in like his eyes or something, could body part substitution guy take his eyes and then see in the night?
Ooh,
I don't know. I think
body part substitution guy just wins at this point. Like
I don't know.
I'm thinking about is ways that he could just destroy everyone.
Well, I agree that he has the ability to do that, but also it just depends on how wall crawling teleportation guy decides to attack. If he decides to attack simply, like if you're being punched in the face, your brain's still gonna feel that. Mr. Body part substitution's still going to feel that. So he's still going to be in a fight.
I mean,
But,
if,
like,
if, if he,
obviously,
if he
if you-
switches brains with someone, and I mean, let's say that makes both people collapse.
Sure.
So, what's he gonna do if he switches brains with? He can't switch the brains with the people he's fighting because he's still taking
that's like
pretty
his
significant
get out.
risk.
Yeah, that's his like a last resort deal. But the like, I'm pretty sure. Let's say he swapped like torsos with someone. Like,
oh wait, first off,
at
let's
minimum,
not be
that's pretty
sexist. Let's
disorienting.
make one a female.
I don't.
We're
Okay.
always every superhero battle. We always pick them as guys. So I was just making a joke.
Well, with body part substitution guy, that could get interesting.
Now you're just making it weird. Now I was just trying to be politically correct, but okay.
All right, we're trying to keep it a short episode today because we got stuff. So let's get some final thoughts. I'm saying body part substitution guy is the number one winner, and then between the other two, probably teleportation dude, just because he'd be really good.
I think my favorite of the three is probably wall crawling teleportation
Me
because
too.
that's as close as you can get to Spider-Man without being Spider-Man.
I mean, that's way beyond Spider-Man. Spider-Man can't teleport.
He can't teleport, but honestly, being able to swing around New York is a lot cooler than teleporting.
That is so not true. But
Are you kidding?
in terms of
Dude.
usefulness,
Have you ever
not in
played
usefulness,
Spider-Man?
I mean, coolness factor. I like the way Spider-Man swings around the city. That's just so awesome. You can't change my mind.
so is that guy your number one?
It's my favorite. As far as usefulness, probably body part substitution is most useful in both day-to-day life because of omnilinguism, and then
Yeah.
in a fight, like if he's properly trained and he only uses body part tactically or as a last resort, then yeah.
Yeah. I think, for me, I think it's a close call between body part substitution and teleportation guy. I think they can... I'm leaning more towards a transportation dude, but I definitely see both of them having a lot of potential. I think in the end, body part substitution at least could get away, if not win the battle. So I guess I'll default to him. And then obviously the linguism, I agree, is very useful on the day-to-day situation.
The more I think, we should have talked more about omnilingualism because it's like a binary even is a language or something. So you could like understand,
but
compute, but it's not helpful in a fight, which is all we care about.
Exactly.
So, all right, I think
Now
that's
we have our
some.
advertisement.
I was gonna introduce mine.
Continuing.
Yeah. All right. So, have you ever sent a letter and thought to yourself, man, I hate that I had to kill a tree to send that envelope? Well, not anymore, because now you can pick yourself a pack of gelatin envelopes. Now, this company creates envelopes of pre-made gelatin so that you can insert your said letter or whatever inside, send it through the mail, and then when the person gets it, they get to eat it. Boom. Gelatin envelopes.
That's genius.
Wow.
Very prepared.
How has this never been invented before? This company, like it's just I can't imagine not having it now.
For real. I mean,
Yeah, this is like the new email, bro.
Yep. We don't have to spend that long. I didn't spend that long. I mean,
Now to the
What else is there to
hypothetical
say?
list.
It kind of speaks for itself.
exactly.
Now to the hypothetical list. We have a list, as promised. We have multiple hypotheticals this time, and it's because we
Not of
found
my creation, so
multiple-
if they're bad, it's not my fault.
The reason why we have multiple is we were looking for inspiration for a good hypothetical, and we found a list of mediocre hypotheticals. So it's just going to be some shallow discussion of, or more short, not shallow, short discussions of what would you do in these situations. More like, first one, you're walking in a forest and you found a black suitcase. Inside of it holds 100 or not 100. $1 million and a piece of paper stained in blood with a single word, don't. Would you take the suitcase home or leave it?
Well, quick side note: there was a article I saw. There was a guy in Michigan who found a metal box that was like from an ATM, but the workers forgot to take it, and so it was just on the side of the street, and I think it had like $100,000 or something, and he ended up turning it in. And so, cause where did I find it again?
And the forest.
In the forest. Okay, then sure, it's probably not.
They might say, "Don't spend it on candy canes." That's might be what "don't" means.
Possibly.
And it's written in red.
Blood.
Yeah. Blood.
Blood. It is blood. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that is blood. Okay. Just making sure.
These are rapid fire hypotheticals.
Okay. No, wouldn't take it. I'd just be like,
Wouldn't take
let
it.
the next guy get it.
Wow.
If you were really a robot, would you want to know?
Really a robot? Well, at minimum, I'm a highly sophisticated android because I've like bled and such before, and so if I know, do I get to unlock secret powers? Like, can I use can I charge my phone from myself if I find out?
Sure.
Then yes.
You don't know this. I don't know. I can't make these up.
The first thing I would want to know is who in the heck made a diabetic robot?
On that note,
Why would you
Wasn't
do
it?
that? I don't
That's a good point.
understand.
all right. You find a book and begin to read only to discover that it is your life. You get to the point that you are at right now. Do you turn the page knowing that you will not be able to change events to come?
How long is this book?
Would you look in the future to yours?
Well, no. It's like how many pages? Like what portion of the next moments of my life is in this next page?
I told you this. These are shallow hypotheticals.
I know, but you get to define the conditions here.
Here's what I would do. I would read up to where I found the book, see how much of the book is left, and then like, oh, that's interesting.
No. How about this?
Just leave it to surprise.
We're all 20 and 21, so we are about 20% of the way through the book. But you don't know if like the last 20-some% is blank or not. You don't know when it starts becoming blank. But all the books are the same size.
At
You
minimum,
have no way to know.
I'd risk the next page. Then, if it's not like the literal, so if there's no way of knowing what percentage of the book is left,
What if
I do the next page? At
the
least.
next page was just one sentence and it says like, then he died. Just
Well, then I
nothing.
die. There's nothing I could have done.
I'm just saying that'd be funny.
I had a good run.
Dan,
I wouldn't read ahead. I wouldn't read ahead.
I don't think I would either. All right. If you got to choose between 50 years of being incredibly happy or to live forever and be unhappy, what would you choose? This is easy. I would like to 50 years of being incredibly happy. I don't want to live forever. I don't care to live forever.
Well, but like the inherent thing of the question is you're not going to have joy, and so what's the point? Unless you
Yeah.
just had a severe fear of death.
Yeah.
50 years happiness. So we're all in agreement.
Easy.
I don't know if we've ever all been in agreement.
Yeah,
Something like that.
Something's wrong. Everyone check the script here.
There's a glitch in the Matrix.
Speaking of the Matrix, if
Oh,
you
no.
could learn any one skill in the world without trying, in parentheses, like the Matrix learning style, which would you pick? I think Kung Fu,
What?
just like the movie.
Oh, okay, yeah, Kung
would be
Fu.
so awesome.
But I wanted to say, like, Kung Fu, I feel like you could learn easier than, because, like, I'm imagining, like, masterfully knowing the piano or something, or a musical instrument, because that would take a lot of hours. And so I'm trying to think what useful skill would take the most hours to learn.
I don't know if I would want to do a martial arts. 'Cause a lot of the useful parts of martial arts aren't the fighting skills themselves, but a lot of it is what you learn about yourself along the way. Which sounds corny, but like, that's what it is. That's
I
that's a lot of
understand
what
that,
it
but
is.
it would be cool. Like that's
If I
I'm
were to-
thinking cool factor.
Oh, what would be coolest?
No, that's what I was thinking. That was my thought. It was
Oh, I
cool
gotcha.
factor.
It would be cool to know kung fu. I'd rather train in it than just know it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Programming.
Programming. Oh,
Beats trying to learn it.
Brent, you said something that would typically takes a long time to learn. What's your last thing?
final answer: belly dancing. All right, next one.
All right. You are offered a pill that makes you 25% more intelligent, but permanently removes your hair, including your eyebrow. Do you take the pill?
Yeah, I do it. I've already been bald. Might as well lose the eyebrows too.
I pass. I don't know. It's toughie.
Just give an answer.
I'll say no for now then.
Just remember, this answer will affect the rest of your life.
Correct.
Wow.
Speaking of which, I have a pill.
Huh?
That
Is
makes
it the
you
same
25%. Yeah. All right. What was your final answer, Brent?
No.
All right. Next. If Jurassic
right.
Park were real, would you visit it?
If what is?
Jurassic Park.
Oh, 100%. If I get eaten by a dinosaur, I lived a good life. Like, that is one of my the original one is one of my favorite movies of all time. That would be so dope.
What was it? Would I go to Jurassic Park?
Yeah, if it was real. The mini description is an incredible vacation, although the park has questionable security.
Yeah, I would go. Because,
Why not?
yeah, I mean, that'd be awesome. Like I like zoos. Zoos are awesome, but I feel like I've seen pretty much everything there is to see at a zoo. I've never seen a dinosaur. So, it would be exciting. It'd be like it'd be like how going to the zoo as a kid would be.
Yeah.
All right, let's get one more.
Perfect, because I have one more.
All right.
If a zombie plague were to start right now, where would you hold up?
I was just talking. So I work at a pharmacy, and we lock up for the night, and it's like the amount of barricades that they have set up in that pharmacy are insane, because they have just like steel grates that drop down, and then they have electronic locks, and then like deadbolts. They just have the whole 9 yards. And so if I can't, like, obviously like a military base or something would be nice, but if it was like just in the town or something, 100% a pharmacy, because those things can get locked up tight.
Yeah.
And you have drugs if you need like to heal your dysfunction. I don't know.
I have no idea where I would go. I guess that's a good option. I don't know, like thinking about like Zombieland, like find like a grocery store maybe and like board up there.
That'd be hard.
Because-
That's a big area to. But
well, yes,
you would
you'd
have.
be able to survive long periods of time for it.
Yeah.
I'd probably go to an island somewhere because I feel like it's a lot
Well,
easier
like,
to protect a coast than
but the problem is like levels of is like, can I go to Antarctica? Then I'm gonna go to Antarctica because no zombie will ever get there. So
yeah, but
or like a moon
you're just
base or
counting
something.
on not only the fish that come near your settlement, but also your ability to catch the fish that come near your settlement.
Maybe.
Whereas if I were to go to an island somewhere, there's a lot more options as far as farming.
But let's just say like a suburban or a city environment.
City environment?
Yeah.
Where would I go?
First off, it would cause me to pronk. Nailed it.
Yeah, I have no. I don't know. I have nothing.
Yeah. All right. And then that'll do it
Moving
for
on.
yeah. Continuing.
All right.
Next, we have the bombastic quote. Daniel?
Here it is. Roses are red, and violets are inaptly named.
All right. Dang. Oh, whatever. It's fine. All right. You know what? I'm okay with it. I'm over it. All right
You're
is a
accepting
good
it?
word. So we are going to talk about the Super Bowl because
Very
it's coming
short.
up this Sunday for us. This is probably still going to be posted on Tuesday, so it already happened for you. You know who won. We don't. So we're just going to talk about random stuff. We have a couple questions listed. Number one listed is who's playing, because until this morning, which is the Friday before the Super Bowl, I didn't know. I was sitting in class, and I was talking with someone about their Super Bowl plans. I was like, so who's even playing? And then everyone in the class in like a 3-meter radius just turned to me and looked as if I just said, I enjoy seeing baby pandas in pain. Like, I was like, it's acceptable to not watch football. You do realize that. And so, do you guys know who's playing?
San Francisco and Kansas City.
Yep.
Yep.
Correct.
I do not know. Is that 49ers? San Francisco?
Yeah,
49ers?
San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City
Chiefs.
Yeah,
I
knew
know that now.
I did not know I didn't know if the San Francisco was named 49ers or not.
Yeah.
I didn't watch that game. I watched the Chiefs game though.
A follow-up question then I had was, what decides where the Super Bowl is played? Do you guys know?
Yeah. So it's like a few years ahead of time. I want to say like 5. They have like the next so many Super Bowl stadiums planned out, and then basically it's a bidding war, is my understanding. Like there's a voting process and like a bidding war. Yeah.
So you could have told me I didn't need to do research on this because I literally pulled it up, and yeah, until 2024 they have the next location planned.
Oh wow.
But I was like, why in the world is it in Florida if like it's California and Kansas? But
Yeah.
there you go. The more
Actually,
you
I
know.
think the Kansas City Chiefs are actually on the Missouri side.
Oh,
Yes, they are.
I
Both the Chiefs and the
I was
Royals
testing
are
you.
both on Missouri.
I also did research on that.
Sure.
Yep, totally. Also, okay.
Honestly, it's kind of sad going from the Missouri side of Kansas City to the Kansas side. No, sorry if that offends any of my Kansas people listening, but it's like really, you cross the river.
Shout out.
It's a totally different.
Yeah, it is definitely different.
I feel like we might want to bloop that.
Yeah,
But
well, now we need a bloop sound.
yeah, go ahead.
Brent, you gotta come up with. I always come up with them. You
Yeah,
gotta come
so
Why we said the state?
football themed.
No one knows his last name. Here,
Here,
the bleep can be just
celebratory
touchdown.
noise.
Just touchdown.
All right.
Everyone say touchdown
no.
in 3, 2, 1. Touchdown.
Touchdown.
What was that at the same time? All right.
I said it at the same
3.
We're not doing this. We're not doing this.
All right. The state of Super Bowl commercials right now. It's going downhill. What are your guys'
honestly,
opinions?
they were much better when we were younger. Like,
Yeah.
I remember it used to be something I would look forward to, and now it's just kind of
Especially like Doritos. Like you lived to see the Dorito Super Bowl commercial. If you missed it,
2 years, it's just been nothing.
and the stupid thing is now companies, it's like, go to our website and you can see the Super Bowl commercial early, and it's like, what?
There's no point to sit around the TV during like the commercials at that point.
It's
Yeah.
sad. Ticket price. Do you guys know how much a ticket to the Super Bowl is?
$2,000.
Just a base
it's
one.
Like it's like 2,000 or 3,000. It has to be.
Currently, the one I found online, the only one I found, was $4,783. I have no idea where it is.
Also looked it up 2 days before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know how much they normally are, but right now, if you wanted to go, it's $4,800. Would you ever? So let's just say it is $2,000. Would you ever pay to go to the Super Bowl?
No.
Like, what circumstances would have to be met in order for you to pay to go?
Will Smith is going to sit right next to me.
I'd pay $9,000 if Will Smith was gonna sit next to me. That would be. I'd play $11,000 if I got to watch Will Smith play.
I'd go to the Super Bowl if someone paid for me to go.
Nailed it.
Solid stuff. And then last one we got surrounding the Super Bowl. Lindsay, what do you came up with this one? I'll let you say it.
Yeah, so I mean, as a kid, like I just remember because we lived 5 houses down from this family that my family got along with very well, and one of the holidays that we'd always spend together, all of us together, was the 2 families was the Super Bowl, and I would have school the next morning, but I would want to stay up late to watch the Super Bowl just because my friends and my family was watching it. And so I'd be up late, hanging out, and then I had to get up early. And now, kind of the same thing. I get up pretty early in the morning, and I just ate a lot of food, but now I have to go to bed, and it's already what, like 10 o'clock or something like that after the halftime show and everything that sat in between the game. And so why not make the day after Super Bowl a holiday?
So are we saying like a national holiday or just like for school?
National holiday. Why not?
But
Why not?
I feel like that lowers the value of the other holidays, like Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and then is like, oh, what did he do? It's like, oh, he single or not single. He was very influential in ending racism in America, and then he's like, what's the next holiday? It's like, oh, Americans played football the day before.
It's like, oh, hey, here's a holiday
National
for
Recovery
you
Day.
so that you can party hard and not have to come to work tomorrow.
Exactly. The International Party Day.
The Recovery Day is what it is.
Yeah, I guess it's International.
Yeah, it's Recovery Day, but like, I don't know if you should make a holiday just be like, okay, we're gonna give you this holiday because you
Overdid
didn't
it
plan
the day
well.
before. Yeah. It was just an interesting thought that as a kid it was always like a fantasy almost. It's like, what if I got the next day off just because I was kind of indirectly forced to stay up late to hang out with people. I don't know.
But so overall, everyone's saying no holiday.
Yeah, I mean, as an adult, I
Yeah.
don't really need it. It was just a fun idea.
All right. I don't know if we could quite have time for 5 minutes, but I think we should still expand upon our world building a little bit, give us a little bit to
After we have
work off of for next week.
remember how to speak. All right. So last time we left you, I have got the document here. So we've got a main planet that we don't know anything about. Around it is a ring of water with a bunch of islands and a large bridge going around it, and that's where the creatures of said universe live. And there's a moon that's a white
Bombasia.
dwarf star. Yeah, Bombasia is the planet. And the one
It's Bombasia.
It's
Whatever.
Bombasia.
point is the sun orbits the planet and can cause like basically eclipse type deals. And so today, so that's the landscape we have set up right now. Today we want to focus on who lives there / what lives there. So intelligent creatures. If we don't have intelligent creatures, then this is going to be boring. So what do they look like? Humanoid or
Yeah,
I'm
I
thinking
mean,
humanoid.
bipedal. They walk on two legs.
that is what bipedal means.
Just to clarify, maybe not everyone listening knows that, Brent.
Bipedal,
Wait, am I starting a timer?
Humanoid. We're just gonna kind of go until we absolutely can't. Yeah, so we'll do like 3 minutes or something. So the humanoid bipedal. I think they should have a second set of arms, but it's like crab pincers. So it's like
think-
they have their main arms, like human arms, and then directly below that, like let's say 6 inches, they have a shorter pair of crab like pincers.
I think that they should have 3 eyes that wrap around their head at perfect 60-degree
60
angles.
degree.
Yeah,
What-
so that it's like
But that's
The
not around.
eyes
no,
don't
no,
wrap,
like no,
though.
not like a round, but like the 3 points of a
They are
triangle.
placed.
You know, so they're
I thought you were
they're
saying, like,
120
back.
degrees apart around the
Okay.
circle.
Okay, so but like the eyes themselves are not arcs; they're still like circles.
Yeah, they're like eyes. Unless they could have like cubic eyes instead of eyeballs.
No, I like 3 eyes. So their depth perception isn't going to be as great, but they can see virtually all around them. With
Well, maybe
some
each of their eyes has 2 pupils.
But-
That helps them to perceive depth better.
How
That's
would that
interesting.
really help though? Because they're so close together.
I don't know. Apparently, having 2 camera lenses helps iPhones have good pictures.
Fair enough. Okay. All right. So 3 eyes, 6 pupils.
I was not a fan of optics.
Quick math. Yeah. Lenses. Let's talk about lenses now. So bipedal. So they just have 2 human legs with human feet.
Sure.
All right. Human legs, human feet. Boring. But we like
Do
it.
they have belly buttons?
Well,
I mean, that depends on the birthing process,
yeah,
which I don't really want to talk about.
Yeah, a cord has to be attached somewhere, assumedly, and so we don't have to make it the belly, but
Well, no, they could hatch out of eggs.
true. Do they hatch out of eggs?
Yes.
Well, because then they're not mammals, so they're either reptiles or birds. Then
they're birds.
This is okay. Where, Brent, does this tell you this has to be accurate?
Fine. All right. So they go out. The humans lay eggs. Ooh. Or,
Humanoids lay
Yeah.
eggs. They're not humans.
Yeah, so they lay eggs, and let's get one more attribute, and then we can end it for now. What about their...
Color. Question mark.
Blue.
I like blue.
Like a sky blue, like a
Like alien blue.
Turquoise. They're turquoise.
okay.
Alien blue.
No, turquoise. Alien turquoise.
turquoise, but we're calling it alien blue.
Yeah, just that's the name of the color.
They're entirely different colors because you got turquoise and then you got alien blue. You know.
Oh,
Let's look at
definitely.
alien blue and see what exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
Alien blue.
While he does that, we're gonna end the episode. So that is season 2, episode 2. We had to cut this one a little quick on some of the segments because we've got deadlines that we need to do today. And so, as always, like, comment, subscribe, follow. It means a lot to us. You be sure to look out for our episodes. We're gonna go back to every Tuesday uploading, ideally. And so every Tuesday you can find us on your local podcast source. Lindsay, do you have any thoughts? I put you first, by the way.
I appreciate that, and because of that, I don't really have any other thoughts. I'm so overwhelmed with gratefulness. But
That's
we
why I
have yet
didn't put
to
you
shout out Brent's mom.
Shout out to mom. I remembered. I was gonna say
Okay,
it.
I'm just making sure.
Also, Will
got your
Smith
back
come to the
info.
podcast. We got to
Yep.
get that into.
Yo,
Daniel.
Will Smith, hit us up.
All right. Just quick, I'd like to apologize. I am the reason we're in such a rush because this weekend I'm participating in a 48-hour board game design competition, which I have to be at in 5 minutes.
We will update next episode how that goes and whether
Yeah.
you epically failed or not and ruined our
Definitely. I
podcast
might.
for nothing. So.
That's a
We,
fact.
we expect big things. But with that, if no one else has anything to say, be sure to look for us next week. But until then, you all have a bombastic week.